This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
So a few weeks, months maybe ago, I sort of was asking about pedals that, because I've got, favourite drive pedals, and I've got, a few bits and pieces that I feel like, okay, that's a fairly solid part of my rig, and that's the thing that I could use. I don't really have anything in the way of like a solid kind of delay pedal, There are obvious options out there, but I've not had one that I favour over just the normal Line 6 HX stomp type stuff. So caveat to some of this is that if push came to shove, I'd be really happy just to gig the HX stomp with a couple of pedals, and that's what I do most of the time. But going forward, I've got this idea about, and it's probably going to be later in the week, about a rig that didn't involve Line 6. What if Line 6 didn't exist, that type of thing. What would I use instead? Because I think, it helps to have knowledge about what else is out there and all that sort of stuff. In terms of expensive delays, this is pretty much top of the table, right? Maybe it's even more expensive, but the H90 I think is what I'd put alongside this in terms of things that can do lots of really cool things. I think the Meris I favour for a few reasons. I've also got an Empress Echo system, but what I like about the Meris LVX is that it kind of takes what I like about the modeling devices that I use and puts it into a dedicated delay multi-effects unit. Not only that, but it can be powered off of a normal power supply, which I really appreciate, because one of the things with the H90 is that I need a special cable to run this on my board. So LVX, I think, is going to be the thing I'm doing. I wanted to do a video today sort of revisiting the magic of the Meris LVX is the name of the video, I think. But last night I quickly plugged it in, just guitar straight into this, into my DAW, and again, just blown away by some of these sounds. Even when you set up simple sounds, I think like your standard delay, it's just got this sheen, this polish to it, which sounds really great. And then I set up what would be my kind of gigging preset, so I'll show you that. But then also I jumped in, started doing some looping. Basically, I think a really fantastic pedal. The downside of it, costly, but I think given that Meris kind of developed this pedal, they developed their own user interface, and given that most companies, if they're not Line 6, are charging quite a lot of money for this sort of thing anyway, you know, Strymon with their Timeline, for example, you know, 400-ish quid, and that's, you know, decades old technology, still sounds amazing, obviously, but this is kind of the tip of the spear type thing, the game-changing delay, so you'd expect them to be a bit more expensive. If you're not super into delays and you're not super blown away by this sort of thing, then I absolutely understand why you say, well, that's a bit expensive for what you're getting, right? It is, after all, kind of delayed-ish. So I could see totally if you're saying, you know, well, do I need that sort of thing? Possibly no. It's maybe, you know, a bit of a luxury for people that are super into this sort of thing, but quite a special pedal in a lot of ways, I think. And not only that, but in terms of practicality for something this size on the board to do tuning, and it's got pitch effects, it's got flanger, it's got chorus. I'll show you some bits and pieces. I think it's quite a special little thing.
So here, the kind of idea is I've got my HX Stomp going into the Meris LVX. I could possibly flip the order the other way around. Either way might work quite nicely. So I've got a clean tone on my Helix. I've got a rhythm tone. And then a lead tone as well. So in this context, basically the Helix is going to be handling the cleans, the amp stuff, and then the Meris LVX is doing everything else. So the way that I got this set up, so for my gigs, basically I need a dotted delay. This is reminiscent to me of something like the Line 6 DL4, then the Strymon Timeline that came after that, and this idea where basically you've got your presets along the bottom, then kind of holding stuff for other things. So I've got a dotted delay, which is just a standard delay. All of these are kind of basic sounds, like they've just got really, really nice pristine sound to them, and obviously I can bypass that. My second was kind of my solo tone, so for this I tend to have like a bit of a longer delay, which is going to the side, but obviously lower in the mix than the dotted delay. Then you're going to obviously press that to bypass it. And then snapshot 3, I thought, well, this is a thing that, because those are my basic 2 delays that I would use for a gig, I thought, well, we've got kind of modulation in here. One thing that I can't generally do with the Helix, because I don't have enough buttons, unless I'm taking the HX Stomp XL, is have some modulation. So I felt like, you know, a flanger, I'd definitely use this on a gig for some of the funkier stuff. So that's kind of got a slap back and then that sort of thing. The cool thing about this, so as you press, I'm in the text version of the interface at the moment, but you see basically I could have a bunch of different things going on. I could have a compressor here in this preset, compressor type, tack, fast, and all that. You can change the location, so this would be on the pre and the dry. So the guitar pre plus dry. And I kind of got myself like an 80s kind of preset then. So, and then to save these things, you kind of just press save, and you can change the text, all that sort of stuff. But that's kind of basically, I just took a few minutes last night and set that up. Really useful. And as I say, you've got other stuff as well. So you could have your dynamics. In the modulation section, there are a bunch of different types. Flanges, cassettes, barber pole, granulized, ring mod. Of course, we're all gigging with ring mods now, aren't we? And a chorus. So let's just take a listen to the chorus. Turn up the depth here. It's doing things that for me, I couldn't do that with a normal delay pedal, right? A normal delay, this is doing more of the sorts of things that I would do with my actual Helix. And also interfacing with the thing in this way, I find much more useful, you know, in terms of I know what the preset is because it's on the screen, that's dotted. This one's my solo one, this is a flanger. Do you know what I mean? It's like simple, whereas sometimes I found like the ecosystem doesn't have a screen. For me, coming from the modeling world, it's kind of important to have a screen because I just get lost otherwise. The other thing is, let's go off of modifiers into our globals. Basically, you will see that we can have this other view. So this is the kind of sexy view where you have the bubbles and stuff. So, you know, there are different ways that you can interface with it. There's not really any other even modeler out there where you can kind of choose how the thing looks, right? And if you decide, well, actually, you know, these settings like this don't work for me, I prefer a text-based UI, it's really quite clever stuff. Whether that matters to you, if you're just concerned about the sounds, I do feel like Meris are particularly talented in that realm as well. All you need really are some of these stock presets to show that. I could also use it to pitch down on a gig if I wanted to, you know. Typically you'd need something like a Digitech drop or something like that to do that kind of job. It's kind of all here. So let's just bank up. I'm going to show you how the looper works quickly. We're going to start off with this solo K preset. You've got record, overdub, play, loop effects, which you can change in the menu. But okay, let's see if I can do this. We're going to go with a B. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Overdubbing now. And the looper works behind the scenes as well, so I'm overdubbing still. Go into this got trails as well. Hold the looper, get back to it. We've got half speed here. Go back up. You can re-trigger the loop here. I think if we go into looper, we can change what the effects actually are. Stop. It's just really quite powerful stuff. Yes, it's expensive, but I think you get quite a lot for your money with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you tried the LVX? Did you have it for a bit and sell it? I know that's the experience of some folks where maybe you get wowed with it to start off with and then you think, well, how am I actually using this thing? So I wanted to kind of quickly set up a set of presets where it's like, that is well, what I would be gigging live. And it was, yeah, really quite straightforward. And quicker than I was anticipating, and I've not found things that quick in general unless you've got a screen. So that's what I'm liking about the LVX. And this will be in future videos, I think, where I'm going to look at building a rig without any Line 6 products and see how I get on with that. Catch you in another video soon. Let me know your thoughts on the LVX if you've got any. I'd love to know your thoughts. Is it too rich for you, or is this a thing that's become part of your rig? Cheers for now.